Okay, we're back. Friday podcast. How you doing, Dan?
Good. I hope everyone out there is doing well. We're busy here at Hirschbach, so good afternoon to everyone.
Yeah, good to be back with you. We're going to try and keep this as brief as possible. Share with you some information that's going on within the organization. I'll just kick things off here with sort of the biggest thing that we've been focused on here recently. We acquired Lesser's Trucking out of Eagan, Minnesota, is Lesser's headquarters, and we're bringing on probably maybe 165 drivers or so when it's all said and done. Some real good drivers too. I'll say please welcome them with open arms. They've got very long tenure, I think over 2/3 of the drivers have 3 or more years of experience with Lessers, and so we're bringing on some drivers that have got some longevity with the organization. They've also got an outstanding safety record, and so maybe to speak on why we're doing it a little bit, on why we're bringing on these drivers. Well, they're good drivers, as I just mentioned. They're hauling reefers. We like that. And we've got just more freight than we can think about covering, and so we really need some more drivers to help us fill our customers' needs. Would be the big reasons. From a customer standpoint, a lot of these drivers are going to get flipped onto hauling freight from our customers primarily. Although there are some new customers going to come on board as well, and Dan can talk to that a little bit more detail, but. As it relates to one of the markets that we're going to be expanding quite a bit in the over-the-road fleet as a result of bringing on Lessers is the Florida market. Lessers has established quite a niche going into and out of Florida, and there's some outbound business out of Florida that we're really excited about bringing into the fold, and I know how much everyone loves long miles. Florida's got big miles typically going into Florida, nice weather, and good place to run. So we're looking forward to adding more Florida business to our over-the-road network. Anything to add there, Dan?
Yeah, I think it's a good acquisition in a lot of ways. It's a very good fit. The drivers that I've met have been all very professional, experienced. It's nice to be able to get some drivers that fit our profile and have a good safety record and good experience running reefers and stuff. I think kind of from a network fit, you have the terminals, which the Dover, Florida terminal is really a great location and facility, located really right between what will be 2 of our major shippers. Florida Natural Growers and Tropicana Juice. It's just on the western. It's basically between Orlando and Tampa, a little closer to Tampa. So good location there. They have a smaller facility out in Caldwell, Idaho, that will give us some maintenance presence out in the west, and that will tie with some of the West Coast regional stuff we've been doing. And there's also a potential for a shop in Nashville, Tennessee, that we put a lot of trucks through there. In regards to the Florida market, between what we had and through this acquisition, we're probably going to have 200 to 230 drivers based in Florida. So it's going to be a big market for us. So, getting freight to Florida is the easy part of that equation. Getting freight out of Florida is the tricky part. We've been able to, we've been doing business with Florida Natural Growers now for a couple of years. We have a great relationship with them, and Lessers was doing business with them also, and they had a good relationship with them. So combined, I think we're going to be able to leverage that business significantly with a relatively short-term goal of getting up to 100 loads a week out of Florida Natural Growers. The interesting part is Tropicana over in Bradenton. We had just barely gotten in the door, and now this will open up the door because Lessers was doing a considerable amount of business with them also. So hopefully 50, 60 loads a week there. So a lot of good fits that way. Some other new business, what I would call new business, and some of these are smaller load counts, but we're perfectly okay with that. It's a good way to start the business. But J.R. Simplot running basically potato products from Idaho to California, rich products all over the country. Campbell's Soup is looking very interesting, primarily out of North Carolina. Kroger, the Fred Meyer division of Kroger out west, Winco, which is a West Coast food distributor, and then surprisingly, Kraft Heinz a little bit. So some nice add-ons there. They also have a kind of a dedicated, what we would in our language would call a dedicated fleet. That's they call Extreme, that specializes in the transportation of music entertainers, primarily in the country music venue. So that's something new that we're learning about. In addition to that business, we got some add-on business. We had some customers in common. Smithfield, Purdue, Armada would be some of the names most all of you would recognize, and we were able to easily convert their business into Hirschbach business. So a lot of activity on the customer front, but we were able to get most of that pushed through in less than 2 weeks. So bulk of it was done in a week. So well, that's good. I think it's going to be a nice acquisition to our current book of business.
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a lot of activity this week and last week integrating those folks. A lot of people have been working hard making that happen. We'll pretty much have it wrapped up here by the end of next week and have them all fully integrated into the team. And I'm sure hopefully a lot of the Lessers drivers are watching this video as well. And so again, if we haven't met, look forward to meeting with you, and welcome to Hirschbach. We're thrilled to have you a part of the family. Maybe talking about terminals in a little bit more detail. Dan mentioned that we're going to be picking up 2 new terminals for sure from Lessers in Dover, Florida, and Caldwell, Idaho, which is by Boise. And just maybe some expectations around those terminals on things that you can expect for the drivers. Down in Dover, recently the office was changed from one location to another location on the campus. As a result, there's some amenities that are no longer available. I don't know if it's the county or the city or what have you, but they're taking over part of the property to expand the road, and as a result, we lost some facilities there. So primarily driver amenities. We'll be adding those back as quickly as we possibly can. So we'll get some driver amenities there in Florida. The yard might be a little congested to start things off there in Florida. We are not taking a lot of equipment from Lessers. We're not buying any of the reefer trailers. And we're buying, maybe about 90 tractors or so. But there'll be a bunch of equipment parked in Florida that Lessers owns, and we'll be working with them as they sell that equipment over time. And so that equipment that's parked will congest that yard for a bit. I would hope it would clear itself up over the next, the next 60 days or so. So you've got some more room to get in there. Technician base, both there in Florida. We got a good group of people in Florida and in Idaho. We look to expand that technician base. So if you've got work that you need to get done, those shops are available for you. But just understand that it's a fairly small crew there, and if we've got the time if they've got the time available, they're happy to get you in and get you out of there. Staying on facilities, we've got a new facility that's coming on board in Joliet, Illinois. That's been mentioned, I think, several times. We officially take possession of that here in July. So after the 4th, we'll have that facility. And as I've mentioned before, we're going to treat this differently than the Kansas City facility that we have recently brought on board. We're not going to do any driver orientation. We're not going to bring on any new drivers there initially. We're just going to open that shop up slowly, and as we staff it with technicians, that shop will be available certainly for a drop yard, a safe place to park, and we're going to make the shop only available to existing drivers that have issues with tractors and trailers and so forth that need repair or PMs or what have you done in the area. We're going to hold off on bringing in new drivers to that location until the shop is fully staffed up, which will, once we start doing orientation there, then a lot of the shop time goes towards repairing those trucks as well.
Yeah, the target on that, we get possession July 1st, I believe, and Scott Melton and Nick Forte's goal is to have the shop basically be able to start receiving and doing some limited work by July 15th. So they're going to need a couple weeks to get it. We've got some techs hired. We have a manager hired. Need to get the shop set up, and then hopefully we can start rolling some trucks through for service by mid-July. I just kind of, going back with the footprint, we're going to soon have east of Butte, Monmouth, Kansas City's up, Denton is up, and we're acquiring Dover and Caldwell for sure, and then we're adding Joliet. So we're going to have quite a footprint for to be able to get our equipment in for service and hopefully improve uptime and reduce downtime. So I'm looking forward to that. It's actually came a long ways in a pretty short period of time.
Absolutely. On that Nashville facility, it's primarily there for that entertainment division we're taking over from Lessers. But that should at least be a drop lot for us in the area. And as Dan mentioned, there's a couple of bays there. There's no technicians, and so we'll be evaluating if we're going to staff that up with techs or not as we move forward. I would think we would, but stay tuned on that. Maybe switching gears a little bit, trucks. Talking about trucks here. A lot of activity going on with equipment. Unfortunately, the trucks are delayed. I'm sure all of you have heard, chips, all these chips that go into everything. There's a shortage of chips. The chips are causing, there's a lot of computers in these trucks, and so that's causing issues on production. There's labor issues, there's foam issues, there's all sorts of component shortages and labor issues that are causing the new trucks to be delayed. So appreciates everyone's patience on this. This year is a huge replacement year for equipment for us. We've got 1,400 trucks, new trucks on order for this year. We've taken delivery of a little over 400. So there's almost 1,000 more trucks that'll be coming in throughout the course of the year. I know many of you are looking forward to getting into one of the new trucks. And again, I would just ask you to be patient. It's not a question of if or even when to a certain extent. I mean, it's going to happen, and it's going to happen over the next several months. It'll happen this year that you'll get into a new truck, and we'll do our best to get you upgraded as soon as we possibly can.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe that we've in-serviced over 400 trucks since the first of the year. I was just going to give a shout out. There's, I believe, 44 guys still out there in 2018s. Those trucks are, we're going to be aggressively trying to secure those 2018s and get you switched into newer trucks sooner than later. So expect a call from your dispatcher or the equipment leasing group.
And if you're uncertain if you're going to get upgraded or not, the 2018s, as Dan mentioned, and then the rest of the group that'll be upgraded are 2019. So if you're in a 2019 or a 2018, we've got a new truck for you coming.
So it'll be kind of the pecking order right now is the 2018 Navistars need to roll out. And then I believe there's a group of 2019 KWs that we want to roll out, and then there's a group of 2019 Freightliners. So that's kind of the target group. I think there's there's a little bit of a misconception for the drivers out there that are lease purchase.
Yeah, that's a good point, Dan.
In most cases, it is, to your benefit to upgrade into a newer truck that that's more fuel efficient, less downtime, etc. In most cases, that's the way that the kind of the economics of it work. But we've had a number of instances come up where you really don't want to do that, which we understand that. So just to kind of clarify that if you absolutely are want to exercise your lease purchase option, you can do that. So in the leasing group can give you those numbers, what you have in reserve and what your payoff is, etc. So it is not a forced thing. It may, and I think in some ways it comes across that way, but you do absolutely have the right to exercise your purchase option.
Absolutely. We have an agreement with you. We're going to fulfill that agreement. So whatever the length of the payments are, you can continue to make payments for whatever the term is remaining on your lease. And if you want to buy it out at the end, go ahead and do so. We don't finance balloons, just to make that clear. If you plan on exercising your option to purchase it, you'll have to find financing. We do have a couple of sources to consider that are third parties that might be able to assist you. Again, the leasing department has that information. My suggestion to those of you that really have the aspiration and goal of paying off your truck is really to increase your payment while you're operating the truck. We've got several operators that go into this, like the Trick Your Truck program. You can do it on any of our trucks and what have you, where the amortization schedule would have a higher weekly payment and either a smaller balloon or in many cases no balloon at the end. And so if that's really what your goal is for your business, that's my recommendation is really pay it off as you're operating the truck and not wait till the end where you got to figure out how to come up with $50,000 to pay it off. And a lot of times these lenders that you'll be working with are not going to be quite as friendly as us from the terms of interest rates and so forth.
Yeah.
So
good.
All right. So trucks. Maybe the next thing, just couple. There's we've got the pre-pass system out there. The pre-pass system for the scales and so forth, and we've been evaluating other competing system drive-wise. We've had primarily, I think, some of the drivers on the advisory board have been testing that unit out and so forth, and come to find out that pre-pass has a new and improved system, if you will, that will give notification several miles in advance, which is what the big attraction was to drive-wise, as opposed to just getting right underneath one of those radars or whatever the system is that you go under. So we are testing the pre-pass system now, their new and improved system. We'll be testing that. I think we got 35 volunteers to do that, and we're excited about that. We think that's going to be the path that we go down, but stay tuned. The way that system would work, it would notify you, like I said, a few miles in advance, and it would also be integrated with our tablets and your phones, basically our app, where it would automatically pop up on there whether it's kind of a go or no go, as opposed to just listening for the faint noise and seeing the green or little red light on the side of the current system we have now. So I think that's going to be a nice improvement down the road. So stay tuned there. What else we want to talk about, Dan? We got a holiday coming up.
Yeah, we got a holiday coming up, and we are seeing strong demand for our services in every sector of our business, whether it be spot or dedicated or over the road. So strong demand with a holiday coming. We haul everyone knows we haul a tremendous amount of protein, and 4th of July is one of the biggest grill days in our country. So we're expecting extremely strong demand next week. So, know a lot of you guys want to get home, and we understand that. But if you want to stay out and truck, I'm pretty confident we're going to have plenty of business, plenty of work for you. So, slightly from a business perspective, on a slightly positive note, the 4th lands on a Sunday this year, so it's probably one of the least
impactful
impact from a business standpoint, because we run 7 days a week, but not that much stuff really ships on Sunday. Most of it's preloaded, so I think we're gonna experience very strong demand. So if you're up to it, we sure can use you.
In a lot of cases, we'll be able to knock out 2 birds with 1 stone and get you on a load and get you some home time as well.
Yeah.
I would just say, with a lot of things going on with the holiday, it's a warm time of the year. There's a lot of traffic that's going to be out there on the roadways. There's construction going on out there. You name it. So be on high alert. The Safe 6, practice those at all times. If you're taking a load home, make sure you got a safe place to park. Make sure that, as hot as it is and so forth, that the reefer's fuel and you're keeping your eye on it and so forth.
Yeah, I just want to put a plug in on the reefer part of it. I mean, the West Coast is very, very warm. Up until the last couple days, the Midwest has been abnormally warm and dry. So we do need to keep a very, very close eye on our temps. Also, if you are T-calling a load or dropping and hooking, make sure that reefer tank is full of fuel before you drop. Don't assume where you're dropping that they've got staff to fuel and stuff. So be careful that way. And I just, there's a lot of kind of pent up travel demand from COVID. There's a lot more people traveling, both on the roadways and in the air and such. So be extremely careful. There's going to be a lot of 4-wheelers out there. So practice your Safe 6 and, really be aware of your surroundings. So we sure don't want to have any unnecessary accidents.
And, we've got a banquet coming up for those of you that are new to the organization, whether you're joining us from Lessers or you're newer to Hirschbach. We have a banquet we do every year. Unfortunately, we didn't do it last year because of COVID, so we're really looking forward to, having this year's banquet. It's called the Best of the Best Banquet, and that's going to be happening in 4 weeks from today, I believe. So it's going to be happening July, whatever that is, the 22nd or something like that. And for those of you that have earned Best of the Best recognition awards and are going to be at the banquet, again, congratulations. And we look forward to really celebrating together face-to-face and having a wonderful time. And for those of you that are, again, new to the organization and so forth, it's a wonderful event. And if you're unfamiliar with how to get recognized for it, it's basically just doing an incredible job. We've got fantastic operators here at Hirschbach, and the best of the best is recognition of those that are at performing at the highest levels in every aspect of being a professional operator, whether it be on-time service, whether it be their safety record, maintaining the equipment, attitude, you name it, the whole 9 yards. And so we'll have a nice big blowout banquet and look forward to that coming up.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to have the group into Dubuque and to be in the room with so many strong operators and drivers. So I know the team is putting together quite the festivities. So it should be a real fun time. So look forward to that. Just kind of wrapping up, I do want to put a plug in for our high value. Cargo theft is up. It's always a concern. When you're pulling a high value load, there is certain criteria. One of the problems we most recently are struggling with a little bit is when you get a high value load, there's the criteria. One of the criteria is after you hook and you gate, you leave, you got to drive 250 miles without stopping. So that means you've got to be fueled, you got to be rested. Everything needs to be in order. You can't drive 50 miles and stop and get a coffee or anything like that, because the tracking devices they have, we're taking quite a bit of heat in that category. So make sure that you fully understand you got all the information you need to be successful. But probably one of the biggest trigger points is you have to drive that first drive shift for 250 miles.
All right. Well, we'll wrap things up. Things are very busy. Lots of demand. I would also put a plug in for our referral program. If you've got good people, whether they have CDLs or they don't have CDLs, we now have our CDL school up and running. We're now taking people with just permits. So that program is really gaining its traction. So bring on good people here to Hirschbach so we can continue to service our customers and take away business from our competitors out there. So,
yeah, it's definitely a very strong business environment, and we want to capitalize on it. So we can only do that with drivers in our trucks hauling freight. So we appreciate everything you do, and take care and be safe. Thank you.
Thank you.